Alright, so in this one, we are going to be making an LF tier list. The stars we are going to be rating these LFs are as follows. So, Zenkai LFs, we will be rating at 7 stars. Every other LF will be at 6 stars, and then Frieza, who, as you can see, is not on this list, we will be rating at the end a very preliminary thought of him at 6 stars. Maybe even consider him at 3 stars because he is just arriving and everyone's dry on CC, so don't really expect to see him higher than 3 stars for 99.999% of the player base, right? So these are all in order from, the first LF that wasn't even considered an LF, Beerus, all the way to Gohan, the newest LF besides Frieza. And yeah, we're gonna rate them. Let's see how they fall. Let's just get into it. So Beerus, I'd say Beerus is A tier. Not for a simple fact that he is good enough to warrant not being in the bad tier, but it's just that the other LFs aren't good enough, right? Like Goten, is going to be there. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta could even make it there, and a few others. Beerus, his main shtick that you'd ever use him for nowadays, because Vados is so good, you have other green units, even that free Super Saiyan God Goku from the Goku Day event, is good enough to surpass this Beerus. All you use this guy for is his lock on their main ability. If you don't know, Android 17 from the Tournament of Power has the same exact thing, where he locks their main ability. Now, why is this valuable? Well, for one, units like FSK, right? So let's say you're about to make it a 3v1, and you swap into your Beerus before you kill that last opponent, right? So you kill that guy, now it's a 3v1, FSK's last man standing. Well, if you're in with Beerus already, that guy's main ability is going to be locked. Let's say you swap in afterwards, he still has the opportunity to pop it, like, instantly. Let's say he's low health, he's going to be like, okay, I'm popping this main. Shit, you got fucked. Okay, well, you swap to Beerus prior to end the big bad guy, whoever it is, prior to Gohan being there. Then, well, you have their main ability locked, and you're really sealing a lot of units' kits by locking their main, like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, like LF Father Son Kamehameha Gohan. You're really screwing a lot of units by doing that, and that's probably Beerus' best thing. Damage isn't great. Blast damage is okay. Key recovery is pretty low. Green card's okay, but it's hard to land. It's not that hard to land, but, I mean, it doesn't give you enough for you having to land a non-blast armor dash forward green card, right? Like, you'll cancel their buffs, but they swap in and out, and they're back, right? It's not like they're canceled for 20 counts no matter what happens. They're just canceled, swap in, swap out, buffs are back. Blue card short animation, so that's nice, but strike guard's damage is just really lacking. So, yeah, he is replaced by Vados, but he isn't as bad as the other LFs here that really make him in the tier below A tier. Gohan, the actual first LF, is obviously a Z tier unit. His blast damage is off the charts. His support that he has on hybrids, Sun family, and probably anywhere you want to throw him is just good enough to make him as godly as he is. Because Gohan alone, right? Gohan without, like, help isn't as great as people would lead you to believe. Like, let me explain this. Gohan, let's say on a purple-red team, where there's not much support. Let's say it's, I don't know, Ultra Vegeta, who's not supporting Gohan. And then it's Super Saiyan 3 Goku, again, not supporting Gohan. Gohan will do great. He'll do awesome. I was going to say awful for some reason. Awesome. But he's not going to do what he does on hybrids. He's not going to do what he does on Sun Family. This Gohan really wants support to do what he does. Now, why is hybrid so great? Again, I just mentioned it 37 times. They support. That's what this Gohan wants. His blast damage getting supported with his insane stats, with his insane damage buffs that he gets per blast art to use, is going to do off-the-charts damage if he's supported. If he's not supported, he'll hit about Namek Goku numbers on blast starts, and you want your Gohan to hit Gohan numbers, which means 2 carding with the blast starts, 1 carding with a blue card. Like, you want your Gohan to do that, right? So if you're running Gohan on his best situations, yeah, he's going to be here. But Gohan in other situations, he'll probably be like high S. Again, I'm not saying Gohan doesn't rightfully deserve Z, but I'm saying Gohan in it of himself wants to be on these teams that are supporting more than anyone else, probably in the game. If he's not on them, he does not look like the Z tier unit that everyone is so terrified and afraid of. Hope you guys follow that. I'm not calling him bad. Please don't twist my words. Goten, bad. Goten, no. Good, bad, not good. Why? Goten's old. Goten came out over 2 years ago now, right? Goten came out before first anniversary. Not a Zenkai. And even at 6 stars, wouldn't be useful. So many replacements for Goten on every single team. Sun Family, you have a bunch of purples that, strike or blast base nonetheless replace them. Hybrids, you have a bunch of purples. Again, this new Revival Gohan, for example, the purple Zenkai 7 Gohan, even the purple Teen Trunks can replace this Goten. And then, I guess Super Saiyans? You could just rock Super Saiyan 3 purple Goku and just have him be there. All Goten does is support LF Gohan well. And from there, he does basically nothing good. The best thing about him is his Plat Equip is probably the best equipment in the game because it gives you healing when you swap to standby for this Goten. His kit, very aged. His stats are very aged. Everything about him is aged. Obviously, it has been 2 years, so you would expect such a thing. But yeah, he's bad. Just no ifs, ands about it. He's just not good. I'm considering rating these in like an order for the bad tier units. Yeah, I guess I will. Super Vegeto, I do think is better than Goten because of just his main ability. Yes, Super Vegeta won't do the damage, neither will Goten though. So, yes, Goten will support very well, but Super Vegeta with his main ability, at least canceling their buffs, matters a lot more in my opinion because you need to actually do things with Goten for him to support, right? You need to land, or use the ultimate. I don't think you have to land it. I think you just have to use the ultimate for him to support. You need to swap in and out for him to support. Super Vegeta, you pop your main, you cancel their buffs. Now, everything else about Super Vegeta is aged, right? Again, he's 2 years old at this point, even older. With Goten, older in 2 years. He's not good. Again, another situation where he's not a Zenkai, so he's not going to be very good until we get to the more recent LFs, obviously. But yeah, he's just aged. That's all you can really say about him. Power Creep caught him. Power Creep's going to catch a lot of these LFs in the future and now. And these two are very subject to that. Namek Goku, Z tier. He is behind Gohan in my opinion. Namek Goku cannot do what Gohan does, damage-wise. Now, why is that? Namek Goku doesn't have the support of Gohan. Namek Goku doesn't have the damage buffs of Gohan and or the uniques. Obviously, Gohan going neutral is a big attribute to him, while Namek Goku cannot do that. He wants you to play around the idea of, oh, I got my blue card, I'm going to shit stomp and outplay my opponent. It's basically like using UI Goku, right? You need to really know how to use them to use them correctly. That's what, in my opinion, could make him Z. And this list can adjust by the end of it, right? I probably will adjust it. But in my opinion, Namek Goku can be Z tier. And if they can be Z tier, that means they are Z tier in my book. Like, you're not going to say LF Frieza can be Z tier, right? You say he could be this tier. He can't in any situation. Gohan and Namek Goku can both be Z tier in good situations if you are good with that character. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I think, is above, where are we? There, right there. Above Namek Goku. Why? Neutral. He goes neutral. Besides everything else about him, his green card just being tedious to deal with because you can't play the game and try to, do a blast arts to bait them to vanish. No, he has a green card that counters that, and that can chain. His blue card does okay damage. He has card draw speed after a certain amount of counts. His blast arts will do good damage, just about a little less than Namek Goku from my experience. Strike arts, pretty mid damage, and then obviously the more your opponent swaps, the more ultimate damage he will do while being type neutral and while nullifying endurance on that. You don't really need to play the game for your Super Saiyan 3 Goku to decimate the entire match. You need to make your opponent vanish. You need to make your opponent switch, which truly isn't difficult in a game where switch buffs happen, in a game where Super Saiyan buffs, again, switch buffs are a scenario that's like the most prominent thing in the game, right? You have to switch out. You can't just stay in unless you have characters like UI Goku. And even then, you really don't have a situation where you're like, okay, I'm going to stay in. Because Super Saiyan 3 Goku can do as much damage to UI Goku as UI Goku can do Super Saiyan 3 Goku without being neutral. It's just how it is with Zenkais. And again, power creep. It's not very balanced, but it is a situation we are in. But yeah, Super Saiyan 3, a little worse than Gohan, a lot better than Super Saiyan Namek Goku. Vegeta! Huh. Yeah, Vegeta's in bad. Now, Vegeta barely makes bad. Let me be upfront with this. Vegeta's still okay, right? I think he's probably, from before 2nd anniversary, he's probably the most usable, non-Zenkai LF. That's prior to 2nd anniversary. Now, you could argue Frieza with all this stuff, but let me explain why Vegeta. He's supporting well. He's lowering his card cost every time he does a card. He gets double card just beyond his main and locks in when he pops the ultimate. Plus his green card's healing, blue card's a quick animation. He has enough to warrant him being okay if you have him like, let's say, a 9-star. Now, we're rating them at 6 stars, which obviously is a big difference because stat increases and all that. But I think if you are going to run him, you're not going to be like, oh my god, this is so bad, this is like LF Goten. No. You'll be like, this Vegeta actually isn't that terrible. Now, his stats aren't that great. His damage buffs aren't going to be off the charts like the other LFs we have recently. But he's respectable and runnable to an extent. And really, that's all he needs to feel like he's decent enough. So I think he barely makes it in this bad tier. Again, we can't adjust this list at the end. But yeah, I think he's okay for what he is and how old he is. He's about a year and a half, so gauge that how you will. Frieza. Frieza kind of increased with this banner, right? With LF Frieza. Or Full Power Frieza, I guess. Frieza's worse than Vegeta. Now, it's just because the teams, right? Frieza's, like, overall a better unit than Vegeta, but the teams. Vegeta's on God Key, and if you don't have Beerus, or you didn't do that Super Saiyan God Goku, and you don't have Vados, I know it's a lot of ands and ifs, but if that's your situation, then you can run Vegeta and feel okay. You're not going to feel great, you'll feel fine. Now you look at Lineage of Evil, you run this Frieza, he's going to get shit stomped. Even at 6 stars, he's not going to tank well. His best thing is his support and the holding of a blue card, because Full Power Frieza likes that. Green Cooler likes that because he can feint. Blue Cooler likes that because his overpowers other blue cards. These units that he runs with like that, but it's just that the team is so squishy and dead. You do have this LF Full Power Frieza that makes it a little more tanky with a 65% cut when he comes in, and reducing their balls every time he comes in 3 times, and all that. But he's just an LF that you're really not going to have high stars when the rest of your team is very squishy. Green Cooler squishy. Blue Cooler is really squishy. Red DBS Frieza, again, another. You just have this scenario where you don't have very much defensive type units, where in another circumstance you have Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who's a defense, offense, and god tier unit that legitimately does everything, right? You have LOE, who doesn't really have any of that in excess. They don't have much offense in excess. Cool, you can get crit buffs and your crit rate increase with your Blue Cooler, but again, that's just more iffy than actual real damage that's going to be happening every single match consistently. So, because of that, and Vegeta Family can be run on Vegeta, or Vegeta can be run on Vegeta Family, while Frieza really doesn't have another home. Frieza Force just isn't good enough, and powerful opponent, there's other options. Vegeta can find a home easier than Frieza can, is basically why Frieza is below Vegeta. But unit-wise, Frieza is a better unit than Vegeta. Obviously, because he came out, what, months later, right? Piccolo. Piccolo, first S tier. Obviously, he is a Zenkai. I don't personally like Piccolo. I do have him now. I didn't have him before, like the last tier list I made, probably. At 7 stars, Zenkai 7, 1400%, but now I do. And from my experience with using him very, very little, I just don't like how slow he is. And it's just because you can't be slow in this meta, right? And you have, for example, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who has that, kind of exception to the rule, where he can be slow because he tanks so well. Piccolo can tank, but just look at the amount of oppressive red units in this game. It's really not balanced and helpful to Piccolo, right? You're going to see FSK every match. You're going to see Red Gogeta a lot of matches. You're going to see these red units regardless of you running regen, regardless of you running these, teams with these yellows. You're going to see all these reds that are really, really strong. So that hurts him. Him getting Vanish back on his main is nice. His card draw speed is good for his second main, but overall, his tankiness just doesn't hold up, in my opinion. His damage is okay on Blast. His blue card damage is alright. It's just nothing that ever, it's like, whoa, that was so much. It's just like, alright, you're good, but you're not great. You're just alright. But you kind of say the same thing about, let's say, Majin Vegeta, right? You won't ever be, astounded by him. Maybe on his blue card, but overall, you won't be, astounded. It's kind of how I feel with Piccolo. You won't be ever he's crazy as hell, he's going to be the next name it Goku. No, he's going to be Piccolo, he's going to do alright. He'll be an okay option for regen if you don't have Zenkai 7 DKP, which I still believe is a better yellow option for regen, by the way. And on any other team, you don't really run him because Saiyan Saga is not a real team, right? So I think he's okay. Could he have been better? Yeah. He was probably the first neutered LF Zenkai, and then they went back to God tier when they did Super Saiyan 3 Goku, unfortunately. But yeah, he's okay. Not terrible. Not amazing, but good enough. Vegeto Blue. We have now hit the 2nd anniversary. Wow. Look at the LFs we got. Wow. We got a lot first. Well, the first year to end of the year, right? So technically this is 2 years, but this is the 3rd year. Regardless, Vegeto Blue. Yeah, right there. Now, you're going to say for the next 2 LFs for Vegeto Blue and Majin Vegeta, well, they're replaced on a lot of teams. And I agree with you, they are. Vegeto Blue is replaced on Future. He's replaced on a Saiyan team if you want to run him there. Fusions, he's replaced as well if you have that Zenkai 7 Gogeta. And where else do you run him? God Key. He's also replaced there. But doesn't mean he's bad at that point, right? Because you have Beerus here who's replaced on his God Key team, right? But he's not bad, essentially. It's just that he's not as good. Vegeto Blue can farm Rising Rush quickly. He can cancel the enemy's attribute upgrades on green card given that has no blast armor. I don't really know why. They should have just gave him all blast armor. Blue card is a lock-in blue, which is a long animation, unfortunately for him. And then his ultimate can nullify endurance. What is Vegeto Blue's best attribute? It's farming Rising Rush. Now, can any other blue unit that replaces him do that well? I would say Trunks on Future can, because obviously Trunks gets card draw every time he's hit. But besides him, nobody. Super Saiyan Blue Goku, who replaces Vegeto Blue and God Key, cannot farm Rising Rush quickly, at least early on, because he doesn't have card draw speed. Majin Vegeta, let's say, or I don't know, another blue unit on a Saiyan team doesn't have card draw speed to farm Rising Rush. And where else? Fusions, again, that transforming Gogeta, again, can't farm Rising Rush very quickly. Vegeto Blue's main attribute would be that he's been around a lot. You probably have him at okay stars at this point, and he can farm Rising Rush because all the strikes he draws every time he does a strike art's used. That's about all he does great, which warrants him being an A. I know it's not a lot, but it's enough to warrant him compared to everyone else below him, in my opinion at least. If you disagree, let me know. Majin Vegeta, I do think, is better than Vegeto Blue, just because Z ability-wise, he's good for Saiyan team and Vegeta family. Vegeta family doesn't really have much, right? Again, you have that blue Trunks, which is great, but there's a discrepancy between a melee-based team and a blast-based. Now, Vegeta family is a lot more blast-based with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta Zenkai and that blue Trunks and whoever else, Purple Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Angel Vegeta, whoever else you want to run. But on a strike-based build, he actually isn't terrible if you run, let's say, this transforming green Trunks, Trunks and Mai, which I know aren't great units, but they are units you can use in synergy with this Majin Vegeta. And then on Saiyans, he will do good. Again, he does more against Gokus, which obviously amplifies him a lot compared to, let's say, Vegeta Blue, who doesn't do more against, you know, Sun Family, Goku. He does more against Fusion Warriors, I believe, but not against the main unit, main tag in the game, Sun Family / Goku's, which, you know, they kind of go hand in hand, right? And then Majin Vegeta being able to have that green card that is a short animation, AoE green card, just like the Revival Gohan, which I don't know why they returned it for Revival Gohan, but they did. Having that with the blue card that can nullify endurance and does very good damage, and tanking after every single card he is hit with, he gets more damage cut, built up, built up, built up. Kind of wish how Bojack was like that, because Bojack gets that every time he uses a card. Majin Vegeta gets, you know, sustained damage cut every time he's hit. Kind of makes no sense why they did that to Bojack. But nonetheless, Majin Vegeta, I think, is better than Vegeta Blue and Beerus. Again, disagree if you disagree. Just my opinion, though. We might need to make another tier, I think. Alright, let's just continue and see what we do, right? UI Goku S tier. Is UI Goku worse than LF Piccolo? I'm actually thinking about this hard. Is a 6-star UI worse than LF Piccolo? I think if you are a good UI Goku player, UI Goku's better than LF Piccolo. It's the same situation I gave with Namek Goku up there at Z tier. I think if you can just manage him well, which really isn't that hard to learn UI Goku if you just been playing since his release. I know that's quite a long time. That's about, like, what? A little over a year? A few months after a year and plus change. UI Goku's very good. You can do a lot of things with him. Unfortunately, his green card is a long animation, so if you mess it up, then you're going to get caught. Blue card doesn't have blast armor, ultimate does, but his blue card giving your unique vanish gauge back is also nice. Having him out for, I think, 8 counts is his max damage buffs. Isn't really difficult because of that unique vanish gauge. I just think if you learn how to play UI Goku to his T, you could see him being better than LF Piccolo by quite a substantial margin. Hot take, probably, but that's just my feel on him. Broly. Broly. I don't... What did I just do? Oh, I moved... Good. What? I moved him there? Whatever. Broly is... I'll put him there. Broly isn't better than UI Goku, just straight up. I don't think so at all. Why? Okay, we're definitely going to make another tier, by the way. Hold up. Oh, whoops. Wait, what the hell? Alright, hold on. Let me adjust this on the fly. Sorry. Broly is definitely not better than UI Goku, though. For the simple reason that you're relying on your opponent, right? How do I make a new... Add a row below. Okay, hold up. Let me add this, because we're definitely going to need this for units following. Alright. What just happened? Wait, why? Why'd they switch? Whatever, hold on. Sorry. I apologize for this mishap. Where'd Piccolo? Oh, there's Piccolo. Bro, what in the hell happened here? Okay, whatever. There we go. All back to adjusted. Okay, I'm probably going to switch this list around a lot. Holy shit. Okay, Broly. He relies on the opponent to do well. Now, what do I mean by this? Your opponent must be a dum-dum and or have a full type disadvantage team for Broly to do well. Broly wants your opponent to switch so he gets his damage buffs, his card draw speed, and all that. Now, if you have a green card Broly, then that's a different situation because you'll get card draw speed. You won't really rely on their switching to get more cards because you'll just have your damage building up per card used. But if that's not the scenario, which if 99.95% of the time won't be the scenario, then you're relying on your opponent to make a mistake and switch out to have Broly sustain his combos, do more and more and more and more, while him being okay with his blue card having a faint chance, his ultimate nullifying cover change, or main ability nullifying cover change, and ultimate throwing them away, so you can get that card draw speed at least once on your own will, besides with a green card. I think he's just okay. Again, relying on your opponent to make a mistake is never a play you want to make, and having that kind of hurts him, in my opinion. Again, he can do great. Again, Super Saiyan buffs do exist, but besides all of that, you're relying on your opponent to make a mistake more than you're relying on yourself to actually be good at the game. Just my take. Even with the Vanish Gauge recovery that he gets back when they swap in and out, again, that's relying on them to make that mistake. That's not anything you control. Not having control isn't necessarily a good thing in this game at all. Again, just my take. I want to put UI Goku in S+. Okay, let's just continue, then we'll adjust this at the end. Gogeta Blue. Gogeta Blue was very slept on release, and now everyone thinks he's great. Especially at 6 stars, this guy's a behemoth, right? That healing with Vados, with the equipment he can run, all of that, and his own unique in itself and main ability that heals, he just sustains very well. He's not going to tank the greatest, but he's going to do a lot of damage with his uncancelable damage buffs that he's getting. On top of that, building up for his ultimate, he's going to hit really hard. Blue card's a quick animation. Green card, if you catch them, you're locking them in for 5 counts, canceling their buffs, and you're doing good damage to even type disadvantage at that point with a 6-star Gogeta Blue. A very good unit and easily deserves the respect he has gotten in recent months compared to when he released, where Broly was sucked off and Gogeta Blue is kind of like, eh. I was one of these people, by the way. I said he was like, eh, compared to Broly, and now look at the turn of the tables, right? Future Gohan. Future Gohan is better, straight up because Rival Gohan and because, I guess, just because Hybrids, right? Hybrids just a better team than anything else in the game right now. Hybrids is #1. The trio of Future Gohan, Red LF Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and then Rival Gohan is just so damn stupid. Like, I even am considering putting this guy in Z tier. You know what? Yeah. That trio is just so stupid. Genuinely. You have Endurance, then you have a Revival, then you have a God that can 1v3 nonetheless. Yeah, that trio is just stupid. Apologize for that notification, by the way. There's not much you can stop it with. You have to run the same units back, or you got to run a full blue team, or you got to just get lucky. That trio is really hard to lose with, and I have a 2-star Future Gohan, and I run that trio to grind PvP hard because it's so easy. You really don't lose any opportunities or situations because how good that team is. Yeah, his support is great. Every time he's tap attacked, hit once or anything, he's supporting his allies. Blue card, good damage and seal strikes. Main ability locks green and blue cards, so it fucks up Namek Goku players and or even Super Saiyan 3 Goku players who are trying to backflow and green card you. Yeah, wow. I can't believe I put him Z tier. Yeah, he deserves it. Yeah, this guy, wow. People like dogged on him a lot. And again, I was one of these people, but I mean, now he's just really fucking good. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he's really fucking great. I wonder how this list changes in a year from now, but right now, yeah, this Future Gohan makes it 6 stars easily. I don't even see an issue with it. Yeah, he's really fucking good. Continuing, Kid Buu. Kid Buu or Gogeta Blue. Is Regen God Key is better than Regen? God Key is better than Regen, yeah. Fusions isn't. Powerful opponent is worse than Fusions because it lacks synergy. Kid Buu's right there. Kid Buu, again, he's really fucking good. And at 6 stars, Kid Buu is behemoth, right? He can kill anything. He doesn't care about type disadvantage. He can get up to what? Like 250% damage inflicted buffs at his max potential, which is fucking insane. He's going to do more, I think, to Saiyans, I believe. I think he does more to Saiyans and some other tag, but nonetheless, doing more to Saiyans is crazy in and of itself. He's just nuts. I don't really have much words to say about him. He gets Vanish Gauge a lot because of his unique, because of his green card. He's going to get a lot of card draw speed. He's going to get more damage inflicted the longer he's in, just like UI Goku. And with maintaining a good Vanish Gauge recovery, that's going to help him a lot because he's always going to have a lot of damage buffs. Blue card can give him a lot of damage inflicted because if you land it, or if you use it rather, you're getting damage inflicted. I think it's just a random, 10 through 30%. But still, it's damage inflicted, right? Main ability locks their strikes and cancels attribute upgrades, which again is still going to be one of the best things in the game. Kid Buu doesn't really have a downside besides him being squishy, but again, basically every non-LF Zenkai will have that, so you just kind of take it at like face value. His damage is insane, and yeah, he's fucking crazy. Rose is right here. Now, people are going to disagree, say LF Piccolo's better. I disagree. Why? That bleed. You guys don't understand the bleed. I go on and on and on and on and on about the bleed, right? Why do I go on about the bleed? The bleed does damage when they are not on the field. That is good. You typically, when you're swapping in and out, in and out, in and out, you look at your bars, you'll be like, okay, well, I can swap here and then kind of scale it and just eat a little bit. But with Rose, you can't really do that. If I land a Strike Arts on you, you're bleeding, okay? Well, usually you're bleeding, right? Have that heavy bleed, you swap out. Cool, you're still taking damage. So if I land another combo, or if I'm trying to combo into a blue card from my blue trunks, and you're like, okay, this type neutral unit can maybe eat it, because they typically eat this because you play a lot of PvP, and you kind of learn how situations work, Rose kind of stunts that. He'll make your units be a lot less healthier than they really should be, and that is so valuable, because chip damage matters a lot, and a unit like Rose having that is crazy. On top of, he has like a 20% chance to destroy a Dragon Ball on every Strike Arts used. Dude, you're stopping Rising Rush and you're doing chip damage. There's really no negative to that. Unfortunately, though, his green card is a long animation, but if you do land it, it extends the bleed. And then it can combo into a blue card, and so can his cover change, which, you know, I'm not really talking about cover change much because a lot of units just have it, and it's innately, like, you cover change, you do a blue card, cover change, do a blue card. But Rose, specifically, his goes neutral, so having that on top of the chip damage, on top of the, you know, -1 Dragon Ball chance, every single Strike Arts used, it's just really good. Again, he has the issue of being squishy, but so does every other LF in the game, man. Rose at 6 stars is a demon, and facing up against him, you really don't know what you're getting into if you're actually playing against someone that uses Rose correctly. I'm just saying. Very underrated LF. Super Saiyan 4 GT Goku, the last second year LF. Well, yeah, second year LF. Right there. Why? Now, he's not as bad as everyone says, right? Like, I even dog on him. I say he's terrible, awful, trash, mediocre, will never be good, you know, didn't even deserve to exist. And I agree with that to an extent. But he's not that bad. He wants to build up just like Gogeta Blue. But it's just that how he works isn't good enough. His green card doesn't really plus 10 to him sub count, or to their sub count, like Green Future Gohan does, that came out 2 years prior to this guy. He just doesn't do anything, he just throws them away. Okay, cool. What do I gain from that? Nothing. Blue card, it'll do okay damage. It has blast armor. Should have just been like a beam. Kamehameha, just make it a beam. Didn't need to be a blast armor blue card. When it's a fragile LF and you're going to be trying to blast armor through, you're going to take about 20% of your damage on one blast from, like, I don't know, Namek Goku. Maybe he does a blast and you blast armor through it. Just not good. Just not a good situation for him. He wants to build up, but it's hard to build up with him because how quick this game works. And him not healing very often like Gogeta Blue can stunts him from actually being as usable as he could be. Now, he is better than the older LFs, but not by much. He should have been a lot better than he is for the tag of GT. Plus, GT not being the greatest of the greatest does not help him in this tier list. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Oh boy, this guy, huh? This guy's an enigma for me because he's the worst of the three down here. By a mile. Okay. Yeah, you could be here. And that's me being generous. I could even say UI Goku's better than him. I want to say UI Goku's better than him. Yeah, yeah, UI Goku's better than this guy. Can I adjust? Hello? Yeah, UI Goku's better. Gogeta, look. He goes neutral. He doesn't have a lot of damage buffs. He gets about 110% at his max potential. Kid Buu gets 250%. What do you want me to say? He can tank pretty well, decently, at 6 stars. But again, he's just not going to hit hard. And you need to hit them as well as tank them, right? Look at Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Again, a prime example of what a unit wants to be. Gogeta isn't that. He'll do okay damage. He can spam blue cards. If you land one, then you can do another instantly because he draws one if you land it. Green card cancels their attribute upgrades and nullifies cover changing, which is cool. But it's just, he's not doing enough to warrant all of that, right? If he were hitting like Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku, LF Gohan, then sure, he would warrant that. But he's not hitting that hard. He's hitting like a sponge. That's just it. Going neutral is great, but if you're not going to hit hard, what does it really matter? It doesn't. Zamasu. This is a hard one as well. I think Zamasu is better than Kid Buu. I think he could also be better than Gogeta Blue if you give me an okay argument. Like, I wouldn't even disagree, like, probably at all. But why is he better than Kid Buu? Zamasu can sustain a little bit. Now, again, he's very squishy, like this situation we're going to keep talking about. But he can heal per card used, which is nice. Blue card's going to do a lot. And what you really want Zamasu to do is you want him to kill / be killed. Now, you want him to be killed because he's going to, stop their health restore by 60% for like 60 counts or some bullshit. Then -1 to their card draw speed for whatever, 60 counts again, if he is killed. Now, to kill is because he's going to destroy your opponent's hand. Now, why is that good? If your opponent doesn't have a hand and you tackle, you have a Rising Rush after you just killed somebody, you just have a 3v1 then. That's it. It's that simple, right? You have Zamasu kill somebody. They don't have card draw speed. You tackle. You have a Rising Rush in hand. You win. Basically, you don't get your Rush guess. You're in a 3v1, and losing a 3v1 is very difficult to do. That's it. That's it. Legitimately the only reason why. His green card's a long animation, which sucks. But if you do land it, he does go neutral. Ultimate has no blast armor, which again sucks, but it'll hit incredibly hard if you just do at least 3 arts cards prior to using it. He's going to hit hard, he's going to do a lot of damage, and he can give you a scenario where you're easily in a prime scenario to take away a match in a 3v1. Now, Revival Gohan. We'll go into Frieza after this. I'll rate him at 6 stars, sure, but it'll be hard to, so if you disagree with it, let me know. I'll probably disagree with it in the coming days. But yeah, Revival Gohan. Right there. I want to move Namekoku down. Namekoku does not fit in the same tier as them. Alright, we'll go over that at the end. But Revival Gohan, easily Z tier. Again, hybrids, it's just the best team in the game. That trio right there. You have Super Saiyan 2 Goku kind of cock blocking it by being in the way. But that trio, uncontested. You really can't disagree with that. It's just the best trio in the game at the moment. The endurance, the revival, the healing, Revival Gohan has on his main. Just the synergy with it. Hybrids is crazy. This Revival Gohan's crazy with at least, not even himself. It's crazy because he's not even that, overwhelming on his own. But just what he offers with the revive and with the damage he can do, which he probably doesn't even need to do 99% of your matches because they're not going to kill you. He just does so much by just existing. That's what makes him Z. He doesn't even have to do anything. And if he does do stuff, he has a quick green card animation. His blue card's going to hit incredibly hard if you destroy a whole hand before popping his main ability. Gets card draw speed. And he could just be a sack off for your other 2 units who can both go neutral when someone dies. He doesn't need to do anything to be here, and he's there. It's insane. Now Frieza at 6 stars. Frieza at 6. Team-wise, really hurts him, right? I would say Frieza at 6 is above UI Goku. And that's all I can say about him. I'll probably change my opinion in the coming days, like I said, but I think he's above UI Goku, and that's about it for now. Now, to adjust this list, let's see if I agree with everything here, right? So, Z tier, Gohan. These are in order, by the way, from best to worst in each category, in my opinion. Again, it's my opinion. If you don't like it, I apologize for you not liking it, but not much I can really offer to change that for you, right? Gohan, number 1, I agree. Super Saiyan 3, yes. Revival Gohan. It's interchangeable with Revival Gohan and Future Gohan. I think either could be in either spot of being third or fourth. Doesn't really matter. Namek Goku doesn't fit up here. Namek Goku doesn't fit up here. Sorry. Namek Goku can be devastating, but he doesn't fit up there. No. Just it's too good of units. Namek Goku is too reliant on the user itself, while these units are reliant on them being crazy together and or just overall. Yeah. Namek Goku S+, number 1. Gogeta Blue. Again, Gogeta Blue, Zamasu, and Kid Buu, in my opinion, are all interchangeable. I can see an argument for either of them being in any of their slots. It's just, in my opinion, God Key's better than Regen, but you can make the argument that it's not. I just think God Key's a lot more dominant. So those three, I agree. UI Goku, it's more of a skill-based thing and user-based thing. So yeah, I think so. That makes sense to me. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, yes. Broly, yes. Rose, I think he could be a little higher. I'm not going to lie. I could even rate him above Broly and even above Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but I'm not going to gas this list more than it needs to be. So I think that's fine putting him there. Piccolo and Goku, yes, makes sense. Majin Vegeta, yeah. I mean, I guess Vegeta Blue could be above Majin Vegeta, but I'm not going to adjust it. I don't think it's that big of a discrepancy to where I'm like, okay, they need to swap. Makes sense. Then Beerus, sure. Then the bad tier would be, well, bad, it's just old, really. The old tier would be Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta's the best of them. True. Frieza second best, more with these LOE buffs and Frieza Force buffs we're getting. Then Super Vegeto and Goten are the two last units. Yeah, this is my LF tier list. Again, Frieza would be above UI Goku in my opinion. Maybe below, maybe above. It could probably change a little bit, but I don't think that would change too drastically. Again, all at 6 stars, these non-Zenkai LFs. Yeah, this is my list. Let me know what you guys think of it, if you agree or disagree, and I'll see you guys in the next one.